This one was one that kind of piqued my interest, but it was also recommended quite a lot by YouTube. SCP-049, the Plague Doctor! I might be slightly biased because Plague Doctors are kinda cool. Kinda.
SCP-049.
Look at that
Plague
beak.
Doctor. The Great Plague was one of the most devastating pandemics in human history, killing tens of millions of people in the Eastern Hemisphere, and reshaping history in the process. Cities affected by the plague would often hire plague doctors to come in and treat as many people as possible. These doctors would often be inexperienced and lack professional training, and would rarely cure anyone, but merely record how many people were affected by the plague.
They'd be like, lost cause, sorry.
Plague doctors began wearing special outfits, consisting of an overcoat, a mask, and a long beaked nose. The nose portion would contain herbs, spices, and flowers, which the doctors believe would prevent the sickness from entering their bodies.
Or at least it would smell nice.
This basic summary should provide the necessary background info for SCP-049, a highly anomalous plague doctor. While it shares some similarities with the historical plague doctor, the differences make it one of the most intriguing of the SCPs. An investigation into a string of disappearances in a French town led authorities to a local home, where they discovered a man dressed as a plague doctor, along with a number of hostile, reanimated corpses.
Excuse you?
The police terminated the hostiles, while the plague doctor watched and took notes in his journal. Afterwards, the Foundation became notified and took the entity into containment.
Damn! He's making his own puppet!
Designated SCP-049, claims to have originated...
Yo, this is a really cool looking artwork. Look at that. Look at that. That was so badass. He looks very angry, like the beak and being like, rah!
In 15th century France, and speaks a number of languages, notably medieval French and English. The Foundation discovered that, although it possesses a humanoid skeletal structure, the Plague Doctor outfit is actually part of its physiology, apparently having grown out of its body, including the robes, gloves, and mask. Interestingly, SCP-049's mask is not the same as the traditional Plague Doctor mask, but is instead reminiscent of a Zani mask from Italian theater. SCP-049 is generally cordial and respectful to Foundation personnel, originally appreciative to be amongst fellow doctors. It soon becomes quite clear that 049 is obsessed with discovering a cure for the so-called pestilence, also referred to as the Scourge and the Great Dying.
He wants to cure pestilence.
When asked if it means the bubonic plague, it remarks that it doesn't know what that is. 049's most anomalous trait is that its physical touch causes instant termination of biological functions in any living organism.
God damn.
This is especially dangerous due to 049's behavior when it believes it detects the presence of the pestilence.
He has that deadly touch, chat.
When it believes an organism to be infected, 049 will kill it with a touch, and then proceed to experiment on the corpse.
Lovely.
Using an anomalously expansive doctor's bag that's always found on its person, 049 will perform a variety of crude surgical procedures, including rearranging organs and appendages, and introducing strange fluids to the body.
What the heck?
While not always successful, most of the time these procedures will cause the corpse to reanimate.
Oh my god. The
reanimated corpses seem to retain none of their prior memories or mental faculties.
He's making zombies. He's Dr. Frankenstein. Just with a plague mask. And with a bag instead of lightning.
Basic motor functions. These entities are generally very passive if left undisturbed, but can retaliate if provoked, or if 049 directs them to attack something, becoming exceptionally aggressive.
Damn.
049 will write down all the results in its journal in an unknown language, commenting that they are now cured, although their biological functions are vastly different than what our science currently understands. Sometimes,
They're cured,
049 will
alright.
experiment multiple times on the same corpse, reanimating it more than once. It continues to ask for more subjects to experiment on, especially humans, as it believes it continually grows closer to a perfect cure.
Your
So,
touch
what
kills
is the pestilence?
people.
Well, it's never explicitly explained in the article. There are implications and theories. We can likely rule out any sort of biological contagion or infection, at least as far as we understand it, as 049 claims that the pestilence is the only ailment that exists in the world of men. One of the popular theories is that the pestilence is death, or mortality, as it would be a problem that affects practically every living creature. Although the biological functions of the reanimated corpses aren't very well understood by the Foundation, it's possible that they are biologically immortal, effectively cured of death.
Damn.
Unfortunately, there are a number of holes in this theory based on 049's words.
This is a very creepy photo. I gotta say, like, when it comes to this plague doctor, it's like he seems to just wanna experiment on stuff. I don't know necessarily whether a cure is in his mind or if he simply enjoys messing around in people's bodies.
When first discussing the plague, he tells the doctor to think beyond amateur terms like life and death, and to expand his horizons. Later, when discussing one of the reanimated corpses,
come here.
He explains that the creature is now clean and is unable to spread the pestilence.
Okay.
Overall, 049 seems to throw around the term death fairly loosely, for him to not just say that's what the pestilence is.
I mean, the guy literally has death's touch. You expect him to actually not throw that word loosely when to him it's just touching someone?
Another theory is that the pestilence is instead aging, which does fit slightly better, although it perhaps makes even less sense when considering the idea of spreading the pestilence.
It doesn't make sense for spreading the pestilence, no.
Yet another theory relates the pestilence to SCP-2718, a terrifying cognitohazard that causes those who believe it to experience an everlasting torture upon death.
What the heck?
Elimination of this disease would certainly be a noble effort, but it's one of the most highly classified SCPs known to the Foundation, with even the O5 Council not aware of it.
I presume because they don't want to be tortured to death. Would make sense that most people don't know about it, right? That's how cognitohazards work. The point is he uses death casually while pestilence is his archenemy, hinting that two concepts are in one. Yeah, like, he says to think beyond life or death, so pestilence isn't what we understand as life or death. And then he mentions clean, being clean.
It's pretty unlikely then so many individuals would be affected by it, including the head doctor studying 049, whom 049 suddenly decided was infected with it.
Oh?
Other theories include human emotion, but testing on animals wouldn't make much sense then, entities being on the verge of death, which 049 can detect somehow, or something else mimetic or not properly understood by humans. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter what the pestilence is, and it's just as likely that 049 is simply delusional.
Like he can sniff it on you,
to become one of the most popular articles on the SCP Wiki, theories and discussions will likely continue to crop up. Really, what separates 049 from many other dangerous humanoid anomalies is its personality. Rather than being some monstrous, inexplicable entity that wishes for death and destruction, 049 is generally sociable and eloquent, and for the most part, seems to genuinely want to help humanity.
Ah, yes, the terrifying doctor, because he's like your friendly next-door neighbor that has horrors and atrocity in their basement that might one day turn upon you. but they're like the perfect neighbor. They're very friendly. They always take care, they always help.
Although he did end up killing the main doctor involved in studying him, he is regretful that the pestilence apparently took hold in him, and was glad to be able to cure him of it.
Wow.
Perhaps the pestilence is very real, and 049 is one of our best hopes of defeating it. Perhaps 049 is like many of the plague doctors of old, little more than charlatans. It does seem clear, though, that whatever 049 thinks the pestilence is, it believes that it is the cure.
Damn. SCP-049. You see things too simply, Doctor. Expand your horizons. Life and death. Sickness and health. These are amateur terms for amateur physicians. There is only one ailment that exists in the world of men, and that is the pestilence. And nothing else. Make no mistake, they were very ill, all of them. You think you've cured those people? Indeed, my cure is most effective. Ah, yes. Just kill it. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Because you can't really know if he's the only one who sees something, if there is an anomalous disease, if there is something taking hold that might affect an individual, or if he's simply delusional. So you're forced with just what? Skepticism and just containing it? This one's a very weird one because you don't really have, like, you don't really know how to deal with it or how to analyze it. You could technically allow it more space for experimenting and trying to figure it out. But, yeah. So far, all it's doing is just saying, okay, well, this needs to die now. So many questions around this SCP. But I like it. It's a pretty cool dude. Despite, well, having death as its hand. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for recommending it. And let me know in the comments below what other SCP you want me to react to, or any other content, mind you. I can imagine why it's terrifying. Jesus Christ, Shop!